In the last lesson, you saw how you can do some basic table operations like renaming a column, renaming a table, changing data types, and adding new columns. In this lesson, you will learn how you can create primary keys, how you can add auto increment columns, how you can add additional constraints like not null, define a default value, create indexes, and so on. Okay, so now let's first start with primary key and see why it is important. Now, a primary key uniquely identifies a column. You can think of primary key as your identity card if you are in a college or school or whatever. So it will uniquely identify a specific row. So the default benefits of primary key is that it is unique. It can never be null, because if a primary key is null, then that row has no identifier. Just like you cannot have a student in a college without an identity card, you cannot have any row in your database or in a table that has null primary key. If you have a primary key column defined, then it can never be null. If you don't have a primary key, then there is no unique identifier in your table. So you can run into a lot of issues later on. Another default benefit of primary key is that it is automatically indexed. Now think of index like index in a book. So if you want to go to a chapter, you just look at the index, you find out the page number, and you directly jump to that page instead of turning the page one by one to get to the chapter, right? It is a lot faster. So just like that, indexes make it a lot faster to access a specific data. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a primary key here. In fact, I think we already had created a primary key, right? Primary key here is defined as email. If you will click on this, you'll see that it is a primary key here. Okay, now it's fine because email is also unique, but one of the main attributes of primary key is that it has to be fast to access a primary key. Now, email can be very long, right? It can be string characters, so it's a bit slower to operate on, and it cannot be automatically incremented. So here, let's say you have 3 data, right? Now, you have no index or no serial number here that says 1, 2, 3. So a good practice, in fact, the industry standard is to have an ID column that will uniquely identify each row, and that column is set as primary key, and it is also set to auto increment. So you don't insert IDs manually. It is automatically updated as you keep adding more data. So let's create ID as the primary key here. So just double click on the bottom row and create ID. This will be integer, and for now let's just set it to not null, and now click on apply. Okay, now if you try to set this as primary key right away, you'll get an error. Why is an error? Because primary key has to uniquely identify each row, right? For now, the ID is 0 in each one of these columns. So there's an error because primary key has to be unique. Let's set this to 1, let's set this to 2, and let's set this to 3. Now it is uniquely identifying each row, and let's click on apply. And now let's go back here, and in addition to adding it not null, go here and set it to auto increment. Now this will automatically add ID as we add new data. Click on apply, and this time, as you can see, it works. And here it is marked as primary. Okay, now let's get our data again. So we have our ID set as the primary key. Now keep in mind that whenever you create a new table, in most cases, you start with ID, and make sure your ID is not null and it is unique and set to auto increment. Okay, now let's go ahead and add a default value. So let's say our site does not accept age of under 18, right? So let's say the default age will be set to 18. Now that is not a very good example. I just came up with it and it's not a good example. But anyway, what you can do is just click here in the settings icon, and here in default, just set the age to 18. Now click on apply, click apply, and the default value is set to 18. Okay, now it will not be set to 18 in the previous data, but if we insert any other data now, this ID and age should automatically be added. So let's say we want to add Taylor Swift. Taylor and last name is Swift. And is email not null? I don't know. So let's just try to apply this. Okay, we have an error. Operation failed. There was an error applying SQL to the database. Okay, email does not have a default value and it is set to not null. So it is a good thing because we cannot have a user without email. That's why we have set this to not null. Email cannot be null. So this is a check in your database end. If your front-end developer or back-end developer has no validation, there is validation from database itself. Okay, so it is set to not null and there is no default value. If we add a default value, then the default value will be applied, but we do not need to add a default value to email because that does not make sense. There is no default email, right? So let's add here Taylor at music.com. Okay, don't laugh at my examples. Now click on apply, click apply. Let's finish this and press Control Enter here to run this again. And as you can see, the default, okay, this is very bad. The default ID is 18, not age. So what we did here is I set the default as 18 in the ID, not here in the age. Okay, let's set this to 18. Click on apply. And anyway, let's just set this to 4 manually. And now let's add Harry Styles, harry@music.com. And now this age and ID should be automatically inserted. So ID should be 5 because it is set to auto increment, and age should be 18. Okay, field ID does not have a default value. So we are getting this error that says ID does not have a default value. Now we did not set this to auto increment. Okay, let's do this. Click on apply, finish, and now let's run our query again by just saving it or clicking apply, and we are inserting into user name, last name, and email. Click apply. Now it's done. Okay, so here we can see the ID was set to 18 here, right? So in MySQL's internal system, the next ID is automatically 19 because we had previously set it to 18. So now it'll continue 20, 21, 22. So it'll be automatically incremented. And since we had added default age to 18, default age is also automatically added. Now that you know what primary key is, how to set an auto increment column, how to create a not null column, and how to add a default value, you should know that you can create multiple indexes. Right now, ID is a primary key and it is automatically indexed. So that means that if you want to get a user that has ID 2000, you can quickly get it by just adding a filter that says ID equals to 2000. Now we will see this in next chapter, but another very important thing is you can add multiple indexes. Okay, so we'll again see why it is important, but if you want to add email as also an index column, what you can do is just right click on it, click on create index, and this is the index name. You can just leave it as it is and just click on create. So now email is also added to index. So indexes are useful in your where conditions. I'll just give you an example, right? So if your user is logged in, you know the ID of the user, right? And you can get all the details of that user. But let's say you need to get a user's detail using his or her email, right? So for example, if the user is just logging in using email and password, you need to get the data of that user using email. But if they are already logged in, you have the ID, you can do everything else using ID. So initially you need to get the user's data using email, right? So in that case, it is faster to set email also as an index column, which we have just done. In the next lesson, you will see how you can update data, how you can remove rows, how you can export data to CSV, and how you can get data using the indexes that we have just created. Let's subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tuned.